Hey guys, how's it going? I'm going to be doing a fun tag video for you guys today. Anna CM, one of my really good friends here on YouTube, did this tag a few weeks ago, and she and I discussed how I should do it. So I am going to go ahead and do that for you guys today. I'm going to go ahead and leave her channel listed down below, so make sure to check her out. She is amazing, you guys. You won't regret it. Anyway, I love these type of tag videos because you get to know me a little bit more, and then I get to know you as well because I love hearing your answers. So make sure that even if you don't have a YouTube, you answer some of these questions down in the comments for me, okay? All right, let's go ahead and get started. So question number 1. Favorite mom hack. Okay. I would have to say that my favorite mom hack would be making things fun. Things like going to a doctor's appointment, a dentist appointment, doing homework, doing chores. I think that if you take these not so fun opportunities for kids and make them fun, whether it's like a reward system or whether it's kind of like a just game. I think that if you entice them and keep them motivated, maybe help along, I think that is such a great mom hack. And I definitely did that with my son. I tried as hard as possible, and he was always about rewards. So we learned that early on. Okay, question number 2, the most embarrassing mom moment. Let me think about this one. Okay, no judgment, you guys. Okay, when my son was, I want to say like 5, maybe 6 years old, my husband and I took him to Hooters. I know, you guys. That was the first mom fail. If you haven't heard of Hooters, it is where the girls are dressed very lightly. Lightly. I don't even know how to express it. Just Google it. Anyway, and my husband and I had heard that they have amazing wings. So we go in there, and I can't remember why, but they sat us in this place where it was kind of up high, like the chairs were up high. They were almost like bar stools, but it wasn't at the bar. But they were stools, and there was no back. Just thinking of this, you guys, oh man, I feel like such a horrible mom. Basically what happened was my son fell because there was no back support, and all of the Hooter girls came up and they were like, oh, sweetheart, cutie, are you okay? And I was like, oh my gosh, why did I bring my baby here? And of course I rushed over to him too, and he was crying, and I picked him up and I was loving on him, and that was probably the most embarrassing mom moment ever. Number 1, because of where we were, and number 2, because he had all these pretty girls dressed sexy all about him, and they just thought he was the cutest thing in the world. And yeah, that would have to be it. Don't judge me, you guys, that was forever ago. Okay, number 3, part of the day that you love the most. I would definitely have to say it's the nighttime. I'm not a night owl by any means, but it's time for me to be in my sanctuary, in my home, where I can get things done, where I can relax and unwind. Definitely the end of the night, right before bed. So yeah, nighttime. Number 4, what part of the day do you like the least? I would have to say first thing in the morning. I am definitely not a morning person at all. I never have been in my life. I mean, once I'm up, but I struggle, you guys. I'm a snoozer. And as I've told you guys a million times in my videos, I work a full-time job, so there's only so much that I can snooze. Today's a great example. I didn't do my hair. I took a shower, and I was like, okay, well, I snoozed too many times, so I'm either gonna have to wear makeup, which it was the makeup, or do my hair. Anyway, so yeah, mornings are rough for me, but thanks to coffee and good friends at work, I manage. Number 5, the worst thing someone said to me when I was pregnant. Okay, so I was probably about 5 or 6 months along, and someone asked when I was due because I was so big. And I was like, I still have quite a few months left. So that made me feel really terrible in the sense that I was ginormous, basically. And they were very quick to point that out. I don't know that they did it intentionally. They may have, who knows. But that really hurt my feelings. I did gain 50 pounds with my son. I had gestational diabetes, so that was not fun. But yeah, so that's the worst thing that I can remember anybody saying when I was pregnant. Okay, number 6, baby names that didn't agree on. That's a good one. So I wanted to name my son Dominic, and my ex-husband, my son's dad, did not want to name him Dominic because he said that his family wouldn't know how to pronounce that. He's Mexican, and the funny part is he's remarried now, as am I, and he has a stepson whose name is Dominic. Anyway, that was pretty funny, but yeah, so Dominic. Do you co-sleep? No, I no longer co-sleep. However, did I co-sleep? Yes. As I just opened up, my son is my ex-husband's kid, and my baby and I, he was like my comfort blanket, like my security blanket. And so I always co-slept with him when he was younger. When I try to kick that habit though, whoa, I had the hardest time with that. But yeah, I'll admit I did co-sleep. Number 8, something you bought that you never used. In that stage of my life, I didn't really have a lot of money, and I didn't really have a lot of stability, if I'm being 100% honest. I never bought anything that I didn't use, so I would have to be honest and say nothing. Everything that was gifted, like for a baby shower, and everything that I bought, I used it all, so I can't say that I didn't use anything. 3 hospital must-haves. Okay, I'm assuming they're must-haves for me, so I would have to say comfortable clothes. After you give birth, you're very hormonal, and don't take anything that's going to make you feel bad, like any tight-fitting clothes. So I would have to say, you know, get some sweatpants or jeggings or something that you are going to just be comfortable in, because if you're anything like me, my priority wasn't really me, it was my son. And so I didn't really care to think about what I needed. I thought more about what my son would need. So I would say definitely have some comfortable clothes. I would also say, mamas out there, have some makeup, because one thing that you'll notice is a lot of the times you're going to get visitors from everywhere, whether it's coworkers, whether it's family, friends. So just a little bit to pick yourself up, just to make yourself feel better. And I don't think that's vain at all. And in this day and age, I would hope that nobody gets criticized for wanting to wear a little bit of makeup. I'm not saying give yourself a full, you know, beat face. That's what the kids call it nowadays. Okay, one more. Comfortable shoes. One thing that I really had to do when I gave birth is walk. I love walking my baby around, you know, bouncing him around, just walking. So comfortable shoes. And those are my 3 must-haves. Okay, number 10 is, are you a routine mom or a go-with-the-flow mom, and what does your bedtime look like? So I was very much a routine mom. My son had his bath time, which is when we brushed his teeth, combed his hair. We would then, after that, you know, read a book. We would do a prayer. We used to pray a lot when he was younger. We don't do that anymore. Anyway, and then it was off to bed. Of course, dinner was way before that. So very much a routine mom for his entire life. I mean, he used to get teased in junior high and high school because he also was given a routine, a bedtime, a curfew. I have always been a routine mom. He is now 18, so it's kind of silly answering some of these questions because mine are so old, but I'm doing it anyway because I feel like I have more experience, and if you're a new mom, you could probably benefit from them. And that's what I'm telling myself, so that's what we're gonna go with. But anyway, yes, a routine mom, very much so. What does your bedtime look like? Okay, so nowadays, as I mentioned, he's 18, he has a job, so there's no bedtime per se, so it's whatever. However, when he was younger, I pretty much just went through the steps. We would have dinner, he would have his chill time. After that, it would be bath time. After bath time, brushing his teeth, combing his hair, we would read a book. After reading a book, we would do our little prayer, and then he was off to bed. And quite honestly, that was his entire youth. Okay, number 11, what type of labor did you have, and what type of pain reliever did you choose? Well, guys, I don't want to get into a huge long story, but I had a very difficult delivery. Labor for me was awful. It was 19 hours and 55 minutes. My son was high risk. I was not prepared. I was told that he had to be born the day that I went in for just a routine checkup because he did not have a consistent heartbeat. They induced me, and they told me that I basically had to have him because they didn't know what was going on. The inducing didn't really work, and that's why it was so long, and it was very, very painful when you're not prepared to deliver, but you're being forced to deliver. It was really hard. I begged my doctor to not let me have a C-section, and in retrospect, I regret that. So for all you mamas in the same predicament, get the C-section. I wish I would have, to be honest with you. They used what's called a vacuum now. This was forever ago, so I'm not sure that they still do that, but it's considered a natural birth, but they assist with basically sucking the baby out. And that gave him a lot of head damage. He had his hair pulled from his scalp. It was just not a good labor. I almost died right after I gave birth to him. I had a fever that wouldn't go away, and they didn't know what was causing it other than the bleeding, and they couldn't get my temperature to go down. Long story short, it was scary, it was not fun, and it makes me feel like maybe perhaps that's why I was never able to have more kids. I only have the one, but it wasn't by choice. I always wanted more children, but Mother Nature thought otherwise. So anyway, here I am opening up quite a bit for you guys. So let's move on, shall we? Next question. Okay, number 12. Have you ever been mom shamed? Yes, all the time, still to this day. I am mom shamed because my son is a mess. Let me rephrase that, because my son is messy, not a mess. That's what I meant to say. He is the total opposite of me. I am a clean freak, I am organized, and he is everything but. He is messy and dirty and just complete day and night, black and white. I mean, total opposite of his mother. And I get mom shamed to this day from my sisters. Yep, I'm calling you guys out because I never really disciplined him. I was the type of mom that would clean for him. Of course, I asked him to do it, and I did chores, and I even made him do it along with me, but I never really forced it. I always kind of just gave up and did it for him. Not too long ago, I actually did my first collaboration, and I actually did clean his room. So if you guys want to see how bad it is, check out that video because I'm not exaggerating. It's pretty bad. So yeah, we built this home a little over a year ago, and my son has single-handedly destroyed that room. Well, let me rephrase that. He hasn't. We got the puppy who's then destroyed it, but my son doesn't help it either. He likes to spill things on the wall. Somehow there's, my floorboards are stained because he dropped something behind his computer. How that computer made it is beyond me. But yeah, so mom shaming is a thing, and it happens quite constantly. It is my fault that my son is dirty and messy because I never enforced it or punished him for not cleaning. So yeah, there's that. Number 13, biggest challenge you've faced since becoming a mom. Biggest challenge I have faced. I would probably have to say that my biggest challenge was letting my son determine and decide whether or not he should have done sports instead of enforcing it. I didn't enforce so much as a parent. I didn't let him do just whatever, but I think being active is very important. I think that I should have said, look, you're going to pick an activity and you're going to stick to it because that's something that is good for their health, in the sense that they have a sport that he's just, you know, active is what I'm trying to say. Something that gets them active and moving. And I do regret that just because my son is a very good couch potato. He loves playing video games. And he's a great kid. I hope I'm not making him sound like a nightmare because he's amazing. But he is not into sports. He couldn't be further from sports. But I wish I would have just enforced it a little bit, like karate or like, I don't know, you guys, miniature golf. Anyway, yeah. Okay. Number 14, the best bit of advice you've been given, and what's your best advice for a new mom? The best advice that I have been given would probably be from my grandma. She has told me always to love your children unconditionally, no matter who and what they are, to love them regardless of any of their flaws. And I can honestly and fully say that I have done that. I have supported my son through and through with anything and everything that has come up. He is my world, he is my universe, and I love my grandma for giving me that advice, and I will never take that for granted. There are a lot of things that my son can fault me for, but loving him and being there for him will never be one of those. And that makes me feel like a super mom. All right, next step. Oh, what's my best advice for a new mom? I would have to agree with that. I would have to say that, you know, discipline your kids when they need to be disciplined, but for the most part, do it with love. Make them understand, or try to make them understand why they're being punished. Just love them unconditionally, support them regardless of any decisions they make. My son is 18 and my worries and struggles are a lot different than you new mamas. And trust me, it's a never-ending saga as far as worries with your kids. Whether it's them being sick, whether it's them behind the wheel for the first time, whether it's them coming into the real world, graduating high school. There's so many different factors with being a parent that, you know, when my mom said you won't understand until you're a mom, believe me, I know that wholeheartedly now. Actually, this picture behind me, how convenient, is my son when he was probably about 10 years old and myself. So that's kind of appropriate for this video. Okay, moving on. Who is your mom crush? That was number 15. I don't have a mom crush. I am crushing on all you awesome mamas out there that can handle everything. But if I had to like list one mom crush, I couldn't. I love them all. Number 16, who do you tag Okay, let me think. Let me go with Ground Life, Stephanie's Simple Life, Breeze with Me and Clean, and the Butterfly Me. And of course, I'm going to go ahead and also make this an open tag. So if you would like to play along, please answer these questions and I will list them all down below. And I want to thank you so much today for tuning in. I hope you like these type of videos. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, show me some love. And as always, I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day. Bye guys.